At my brother's wedding, I got a seat by the bathroom on an old stool. His fiancée said, "That's for someone of your status." I noticed my ex-girlfriend was sitting in the front row. I picked up my gift and said, "Here's my status." He ran after me in front of all the guests. Growing up with Jason was like having this built-in best friend who sometimes drove me absolutely crazy. We shared everything in our little Chicago suburb house: toys, blame for broken windows, and those stupid inside jokes that only make sense if you've spent thousands of hours with someone. Jason was 3 years older, which meant he never let me forget he was stronger, faster, and supposedly way smarter. But whatever, we were brothers. That counted for something. When Jason called about getting married, I wasn't shocked. Him and Michelle had been together almost 2 years, and Jason always followed that boring life checklist: college, job, marriage, house with a fence. What did catch me off guard was this weird feeling in my gut when he said Michelle's name. Not that I hated her exactly. It was more like she was the type who'd laugh at my jokes a beat too late, or slap Jason's hand when he reached for another slice of pizza, or call him JJ in this high-pitched voice that made me want to jam forks in my ears. But hey, my brother seemed happy enough, and I was going to be happy for him, damn it. When Jason asked me to be a groomsman, not best man, that honor went to his college roommate, I tried sounding excited. "Whatever you need, bro," I told him, and meant it. Family first. Dad drilled that into us before he and Mom split, and somehow it stuck. The engagement whirlwind happened fast. Tux fittings, bachelor party planning, all that stuff. I noticed Michelle getting super controlling about wedding details, like when I suggested a karaoke machine for the reception, throwback to our epic childhood competitions. She gave me this tight little smile and said, "We're going for something a bit more sophisticated, Alex." Jason just shrugged behind her back. I tried not to take it personally. Maybe I should have paid attention to the warning signs, like when Michelle forgot to include me on the rehearsal dinner email, or introduced me to her bridesmaids as Jason's younger brother who's still figuring things out, even though I have a perfectly decent job as a graphic designer. But whatever, right? Weddings make people crazy. This wasn't about me. What I definitely didn't expect was seeing Olivia's name on the guest list. Olivia Carter, my college girlfriend, the one I dated for 3 years before our messy breakup, the one who'd moved to Portland and blocked me everywhere online. When I asked Jason about it, he looked super uncomfortable. "Michelle and Olivia reconnected at yoga," he explained. "They hit it off. I didn't think you'd mind. It's been, 4 years? Years, actually. Not that I was counting, but sure, ancient history, totally fine." The invitation arrived, squeezed between my electric bill and a takeout menu from that Thai place down the street. Heavy cream cardstock with gold stuff all over it, exactly Michelle's style. Inside was this weird note: "Special seating arrangements have been made to accommodate all guests. Please respect the designated placements." Something about that made my stomach knot up. I called Tyler that night while nuking some leftover pasta. "Dude, you're overthinking this," Tyler said after I read him the note. "It's probably just Michelle being a control freak about her perfect day." "Yeah, but why a special note in my invitation? Did you get one?" "Nope. Just the standard we request the honor crap." He paused. "But I'm just a regular guest. Your family." Family. Right. That word that kept me showing up despite the growing pit in my stomach. I ended up dropping $350.00 on this crystal decanter set from their registry. Way more than I could afford, especially with last year's emergency appendectomy still on my credit card. But maybe the expensive gift would, I don't know, prove something to Michelle? Though what exactly, I wasn't sure. The Lakeside Gardens was exactly the kind of fancy place Michelle would pick. All marble floors and crystal chandeliers, overlooking Lake Michigan. I felt like a fraud parking my beat-up Honda between all these BMWs and Mercedes. Jason seemed relieved to see me when I arrived early to help. "Alex!" He gave me this bear hug that felt like we were kids again. But before I could say anything, Michelle materialized beside him, her smile not quite reaching her eyes. "Alex, you're here!" She was already in this silk robe thing, hair in curlers. "Jason, the photographer needs you for the pre-ceremony shots with my family." "What about the Thompson family photos?" I asked. Michelle's smile tightened. "We'll do those later, if there's time." The small room they gave me to change in was literally a storage closet, with a mirror propped against some folding chairs. Meanwhile, all the other groomsmen got the fancy suite. When I emerged, my parents had arrived. Mom fussing over Jason's tie while Dad made awkward conversation with Michelle's father. This stern guy in a suit that probably cost more than my car. That's when I saw her. Olivia Carter walked in, looking stunning in this deep blue dress that I recognized. I'd been with her when she'd bought it for her sister's wedding. Her hair was shorter now. My stupid heart did that stupid little flip it always did around her, even after 5 years. Her eyes met across the room, and for a second I thought she might actually smile. Instead, she quickly turned away, joining Michelle's college friends, the same ones who'd helped her craft those middle-of-the-night texts that occasionally haunted me years later. The ceremony was beautiful, in that Pinterest-perfect way that defined everything Michelle touched. White rose petals, string lights, sunset over the lake. Jason looked genuinely happy watching her float down the aisle in a dress that probably cost more than my annual salary. Afterward, during cocktail hour, I noticed something weird. I couldn't find my name on the seating chart. All the Thompson relatives were at tables 1, 2, and 3 near the front. Even my third cousin Marvin, who nobody had seen in 7 years, had a spot. But no Alex Thompson. "Looking for your seat?" Michelle's voice came from behind me, sweet as artificial sweetener. She'd changed into a second, slightly less poofy dress. "Yeah, I don't see my name." She put her manicured hand on my arm. "That's because you have a special seat." She led me through the crowd, past all the numbered tables, past the DJ booth, to a corner near a door marked Restrooms. There, all by itself, sat a wooden bar stool, not even a proper chair, a bar stool, no table, no place setting, just this sad, lonely stool, facing the room, positioned so anyone going to the bathroom would have to squeeze past. "What is this?" I asked, my voice tight. Michelle's smile was blinding. "That's for someone of your status," she said, patting my cheek lightly. Then she disappeared back toward the front, where Jason was with his groomsmen. I stood there frozen, humiliation washing over me. A server passing by gave me this sympathetic look. "Can I get you a drink, sir?" "Double whiskey," I managed. "Neat." Through the crowd, I spotted Olivia being escorted to table 1, right next to the head table. Prime position, directly in my line of sight if I sat on that ridiculous stool. Everything clicked. Michelle had positioned me so I'd have a perfect view of Olivia having a great time while I sat alone by the bathroom, and she'd placed Olivia front and center to witness my humiliation. The grand entrance of the wedding party started, culminating with Mr. and Mrs. Jason Thompson. From my bathroom corner, I noticed something I might have missed from a proper table: the tight grip Michelle had on Jason's arm, the way she positioned them for every photo, the almost invisible wince when Jason tried to lead in a direction she hadn't planned. Most telling was how her eyes flicked to my corner, checking if I was properly installed in my designated spot of shame. They say there's a moment when everything suddenly becomes clear. For me, it happened watching Michelle whisper something to Jason during their first dance, her eyes darting to my corner to make sure I was witnessing my own exclusion. I thought about all the times I'd swallowed my pride for Jason's sake. The engagement party where Michelle accidentally spilled red wine on my new shirt, the family dinner where she corrected every story I told about our childhood, the Christmas she gave everyone thoughtful gifts and handed me a generic gift card with the price sticker still attached. Tyler found me and stared at the lone stool in disbelief. Jesus Christ, she actually put you by the bathrooms? On a bar stool? Apparently it's a seat befitting my status, I said, trying to joke, but hearing the bitterness. This is bullshit. Come sit at my table. I shook my head. If I leave my spot, it'll just give Michelle more ammo. Just then, the bathroom door swung open, nearly hitting me. Some old lady emerged, looked startled to find me there, and muttered an apology as she squeezed past. My phone buzzed. Mom, where are you sitting, honey? We saved you some cake. I stared at the text. What could I say? I'm by the bathrooms, Mom. Your new daughter-in-law thinks that's all I deserve. With the gift box under my arm, I walked straight to the head table. The best man was finishing his speech, and guests were raising glasses for a toast. Michelle's smile froze when she saw me coming. Jason, mid-sip of champagne, finally noticed me. Alex, Michelle hissed through her perfect teeth, you're interrupting the toasts. Just wanted to personally deliver my gift, I said, my voice steadier than I felt, and let you know I'm leaving. Jason set down his glass. Leaving? The reception just started. I placed the silver box on the table between them. Here's my status, I said, looking right at Michelle. Her face went pale as her own words came back at her. A $350.00 crystal decanter set. That's what I thought my place in this family was worth. Tables around us went quiet, heads turning our way. The DJ, clueless about the drama, kept playing this soft background music that felt ridiculous now. Alex, Jason started, looking confused. What are you talking about? Ask your wife about my special seating arrangement, I said. By the bathroom, on a bar stool, while our entire family sits together at the front. Jason's eyes widened. What is he talking about? Michelle recovered quickly. There was a mix-up with the seating chart. I told the wedding planner to fix it. Alex, if you'd just said something earlier. No, I cut her off. No more lies or mix-ups or accidents. You've been pushing me out from day one, and I've been taking it because... I looked at Jason, feeling my throat get tight. Because he's my brother, and I thought family came first. The drive home was a blur. By the time I reached my apartment, I'd cycled through regret, satisfaction, and exhaustion multiple times. My phone blew up, texts from Tyler, Mom, even one from Olivia that just said, "Are you okay?" I ignored them all, kicked off the rented tux, and fell into bed still wearing the dress shirt. A week later, I sat in Denny's, the same one where Jason and I used to get pancakes after high school games, waiting for my brother. He slid into the booth looking like he hadn't slept in days. How was the honeymoon? I asked after the silence got awkward. Jason's laugh was hollow. Postponed? Indefinitely. After you left, he continued, stirring sugar into his coffee with this weird precision, I went back inside and asked Michelle about the seating thing. She denied it at first, but then... He shook his head. She said some stuff. About you, about our family, about what she expected from me going forward. And I realized you were right. Jason met my eyes. Not just about the wedding, but everything. The way she's been isolating me, how she treats you, all of it. What happens now? I asked. Jason shrugged, suddenly looking younger than I'd seen him in years. I don't know. We're taking some time apart. I'm staying at Dad's. I'm sorry, I said, and meant it. Despite everything, seeing my brother hurting sucked. Don't be. I needed the wake-up call. He reached across the table, grabbing my arm, but I am sorry for not seeing what was happening, for letting it go this far. A month later, we met at Giordano's for deep dish, half pepperoni his, half sausage and mushroom mine, just like since high school. So, I finally said, 3 slices in, are we going to talk about it, or pretend your wedding never happened? Jason wiped his mouth. There's not much to say. Michelle and I are done. I'm sorry. That's big. Don't be sorry. You did me a favor. He took a long sip of beer. After you left, everything unraveled. Michelle wasn't even mad about hurting you, just about being exposed. The divorce papers were filed last week. What about the honeymoon? I asked. Wasn't it non-refundable? Jason smiled for real. First time in months. I'm still going next week. 2 weeks in Hawaii. Hello? Not exactly. He looked embarrassed. Remember Kayla from accounting? She's coming with me. Kayla? Seriously? I laughed. The one you had a crush on before Michelle? The very same. Turns out she's been divorced for a year and was at the wedding. She reached out after everything. As we were paying, Jason turned serious again. I never thanked you properly. For what? Ruining your wedding? Creating a family scandal Aunt Betty will talk about forever? For telling the truth when everyone else was afraid to. He met my eyes. I was so caught up in what I thought I wanted, the perfect wife, the perfect life, that I couldn't see what it was costing me. Outside, we did that awkward brother hug thing. As Jason walked to his car, he called over his shoulder, "By the way, I ran into Olivia last week." My heart did this stupid jump. Oh, yeah, she asked about you, said something about coffee sometime. Did she now? I tried sounding casual and failed completely. Jason laughed. Her number's still the same, just saying. The next morning, I pulled up my contacts and found Olivia's number, still saved after all these years. I stared at it forever, thumb hovering over the screen. Here's my status, I muttered, and pressed call.